This is Collaborative from Clare Group 10 on Clare's case study.
From reading Clare's case study on our placement experience, some of the core issues that we found include Clare's organisation and planning issues in relation to timing, Claire's difficulty in dealing with difficult classroom environments, her inability to handle a range of diversity issues, dealing with special educational needs of pupils, and creating a positive classroom environment. We've listed some of the relevant GTC-NI competences on screen, and my colleagues will further discuss some of these points in more detail.
With regards to behaviour management in the classroom, Claire shows some understanding surrounding competencies 7, 10 and 22 as seen in the teacher's reflection of her practice, particularly in the opening of her lessons. However, there is a lot of room for improvement. Firstly, some of the behaviour issues Claire faced arose from a lack of an authoritative presence in the classroom. During her initial interactions with her classes, Claire's focus was on establishing a friendly and fun relationship as opposed to a positive working relationship. From here, Claire faced troubles with both low-level disruption and more serious issues. Low-level disruption is recognised as a natural part of the classroom environment and is seen to be within the working consensus in Pollard. This is seen in Claire's Year 9 lesson, where she employs tactical ignoring strategies to deal with chatting in the classroom. Although this has the potential to be successful, in this instance it doesn't work to de-escalate the behaviour. It would be important that in this moment Claire reflected that her approach was not working and adapted new strategies to deal with behaviour, such as diversion or focusing on positive behaviours in the class as opposed to negative. In the Every School is a Good School policy, high quality teaching and learning is highlighted, with an adaptable, flexible approach to teaching being emphasised. Moreover, Claire does seek out advice and collaboration with other teachers to her practice. Hattie emphasises the importance of collaboration in teaching, particularly amongst teachers as a resource for other teachers within the school. However, her response to feedback was not always taken on board. In dealing with reoccurring negative behaviour, Claire disregards the advice of the class teacher and does not follow up on the school policies put in place. With regard to more serious behaviour issues, Claire's interactions with John's behaviour does nothing towards de-escalating the situation. The result of this action creates a learning climate within the classroom which does not feel safe or lend itself to valuable learning. In this case, it would be important to immediately stop the behaviour that is occurring in the class, and it may be useful in her reflection to use an ABC charter to try to come to some understanding of where this behaviour may have stemmed from.
Carrying on from behaviour management, Claire's issues evolve around dealing with a diverse issue when brought up within a classroom environment and also not knowing her pupils nor their backgrounds. Claire talks about Kamal's situation within her class. Kamal comes from a Sudanese family and is therefore a newcomer pupil in the school. Some policies or guidance documents that can help Claire respond to these diversity issues include the Every School a Good School policies for school improvement and newcomer pupils. One of the characteristics of a successful school within the school improvement policy talks about a child-centred provision, which highlights there should be a respect for diversity. Within the policy, it also mentions that teachers should use adaptable, flexible teaching strategies that respond to the diversity within the classroom. The Support and Newcomer Pupils policy highlights that there is a support service called the Inclusion and Diversity Service, which strengthens and improves support for newcomer pupils by ensuring a constant level of support. Within this policy, it says that schools not only need to respond to the increasing diverse learning needs of all pupils within a class, but also to embrace diversity. In order to embrace diversity, there are a number of policies which takes a whole school approach in the situation. The Toolkit for Diversity in Post-Primary School is written for staff working with newcomer students. The document is split into 5 sections to help teachers. These include planning for inclusion and diversity, creating a welcome and inclusive environment, early days for pupils, second language developments, and also intercultural awareness. With most of these policies based on a whole school approach, some contains excellent strategies that can help Claire improve on her diverse issues. The School of Sanctuary and Toolkit for Diversity contains loads of resources available to use for all teachers and their schools. The School of Sanctuary focuses on the religious side of diversity, and there are some activities within the document which can help be used within a classroom. Aside from the whole school approach, an article from an anti-defamation language education professional in the US talks about a step-by-step strategy that can help Claire deal with situations that may occur within the classroom. The document highlights that the teachers should think first before they act upon any of her behaviour. Once the teacher does act, the first thing they do is to address the concern and engage in respectful dialogue. It also highlights that the teacher should maintain dignity.
Claire also faces a number of issues regarding the SEN pupils in her classes. The principal issue is a lack of inclusion. One of her pupils, Tom, is on the autism spectrum. However, Claire fails to provide the necessary provision for him as it becomes apparent that she hasn't been made aware of his specific case. Consequently, she cannot plan her lessons to cater for all pupils successfully. Another student, Aoife, is faced with a barrier to inclusion during group work tasks as she struggles to work with others. Claire should adhere to the GTC-NI Competence 9 and in doing so familiarise herself with the special educational needs code of practice. which states that the needs of all pupils who may experience learning difficulties during their school careers must be addressed. As Claire is unaware as to what type of provision should be made within her classroom regarding Tom's case, she should contact the school's designated SENCO, who will be able to give her advice and therefore help her plan more inclusive lessons. In accordance with Competences 6 and 15, Claire must strive to plan her lessons more effectively to meet the needs of all pupils and create a more effective learning environment. She should make learning intentions clear for each lesson, and she should negotiate individual success criteria within her class, therefore setting suitable targets in order to allow each pupil to achieve their personal potential. She should incorporate personal targets for her pupils drawn from their individual education plans wherever possible. This is also addressed in the supplement to the SEN Code of Practice, which Claire should refer to, and that expectations and suitable targets should be set for children. The supplement to the SEN Code of Practice also states that schools should actively seek to identify and remove barriers to learning and participation, and that all children should have access to an appropriate education that affords them the opportunity to achieve their personal potential. It's stated that when Claire becomes aware of Eva's personal challenges when working with others, she feels sorry for her. This creates a negative attitude. In accordance with the supplement, in order to be successful regarding the inclusion of pupils with SEN, a positive and proactive approach must be endorsed. Claire should incorporate more differentiation into her lessons through providing students that are struggling with more scaffolding when completing tasks. In addition, Claire should aim to develop an inclusive ethos. Indeed, there should be an inclusive ethos present as a whole school policy. At the heart of this is the development and implementation of self-evaluation practices. This approach supports the GTCNI Competence 21 to employ strategies that motivate and meet the needs of all pupils. Claire should try this approach regarding Aoife's struggle in that they should encourage her class to conduct self-evaluation activities. This will allow Aoife in particular to identify and improve upon her own personal weaknesses. Claire should also develop more effective strategies for communicating with her pupils, as addressed in Competence 10, particularly regarding the issue with Tom. Instead of dictating the points Tom needs to cover in his essay, Claire should instead guide him in a more inclusive and less domineering way. Perhaps as a whole class task, openly ask the class what they think they shouldn't be included in the essay, therefore demonstrating an acknowledgement of pupil voice in order to establish a more effective learning environment, as outlined in Competence 7.
So overall, the key things that we believe need addressed from this case study are, firstly, better class relationships need to be built. As Pollard says, good relationships are intimately connected to pupil well-being, classroom learning and effective discipline, and they preempt football. Secondly, there needs to be better planning put into lessons. If lessons aren't timed well and engaging, it increases the likelihood of misbehaviour. There also needs to be consideration for pupils with different abilities and needs in the lesson planning. Thirdly, Claire needs to establish authority within the classroom, as her casual and open approach to the pupils at the beginning only laid the foundations for a lack of authority. As Pollard states, establishing measured and constructive assertiveness combined with provision of an interesting curriculum can sustain and reinforce good order. Finally, Claire needs to focus on seriously reflecting and evaluating her approaches and setting appropriate goals to improve in the areas she has struggled in.
Thank you. References and notes.